And we live. Hello to all of you who do not know me. Welcome to Taboo Talks with Dr. Wilkins. Again, I am Dr. LaQuisha Brandon Wilkins, and I am the founder, CEO, founding principal, whatever you want to call it, of Authentic Exposures Academies Education Management Organization. I have been in education for over 28 years, from paraprofessional to administrator. And let me have my people to come in. Waiting to invite my people in. Trying to see what I did before to get you guys to come in. Invite. There I go. All right. Trying to invite you in. There you go. I hope it's there. It is. Yes, ma'am. Waiting on my ladies to join. I was just giving my intro of who I am. I have also I have an extensive background in educational knowledge. I am big on. I have a passion for equitable practices. I also have a passion for just sharing those things. Just sharing those. There she go. Just sharing those things. In this session, we will talk about what everybody is scared or afraid to talk about. It could be those new teachers or teachers in general. Any educator that's afraid to speak on things that they may have experienced. They don't want to ask their admin. They may just, a lot of things people don't want to talk about. The biggest one that I always see is anything racial. But if you don't discuss race, you're not tapping into the belly of the beast. You have to be comfortable in speaking about race because you make the greatest changes when you can speak freely of that. Today, my two panelists have joined me, my partners in crime here, Ms. D, Ms. Dindy, and Ms. Harris. And we're today going to tap into just three little short things. Of course, these sessions are at 7 p.m. bi-weekly here on live, but we do record and we offer the same sessions, the recorded information, and we share it here and on YouTube. Follow me at Dr. LBW on YouTube. The first thing we're going to tap into today that every external stakeholder need to know. Homeschool communications, parental involvement, guardian involvement. Every child doesn't live with their parent. I'm going to take that back. If a child lives with a guardian, that guardian is their parent. Period. They're going to provide to that child what that child needs in order to be successful. We're going to talk about homeschool communications. We're going to talk about professionalism. And we're going to end on a note of mindfulness. Keep your head straight and level and know what that looks like. So first thing, I'm going to have my ladies run this session today because I know they got something to share. They're going to give it to you from as a parent, but they're also elite educators. Okay? So homeschool communications. Let's go, ladies. Let's talk about that. What's the importance in your experiences? Tell about an experience that was not so positive. And how did you change the narrative as a parent? Miss Ivy League, I'm going to invite you in. You may can chime in if you're available to come in. All right, let's go, ladies.
For me, this is Maria. For me, I'm gonna talk about as a parent. As a parent, I had my son was in 11th grade at the time. He broken his leg, and he was at home. I didn't get the proper documentation for hospital homebound, so we were just winging it. And I am he had an IEP at the time, already labeled autistic. spectrum, and it was just like they just dropped the ball. Hey, he got an IEP anyway. Wasn't caring that he was on diploma track. They just did whatever. And as a parent, yeah, I could have. Oh God, I had so many stories where I could have been very, very rich right now, but I mean, it as a parent, it's frustrating whenever you when you are trying. Now I'm a parent of a special needs kid. Also, I'm an educator at the time as well, so I knew what I was supposed to experience going through this, but I didn't. And every time I asked questions, he was in high school in 11th grade, and every time I went and to ask or to this person to reach out, that person to reach out, this person, I was being sent all kind of ways, and it was really ugly. And I just literally said this to the assistant principal. I've done everything I could. So guess what happens now? If if you think that you're going to retain my son or do anything out of the ordinary. He was very, very bright, very, very smart. So he didn't have an academic need. My son was had a social emotional deficit. So he could sit in the classroom. One of his teachers said, "You got to tell him to stop sleeping in class. He's bored. I know, but he can sleep and still hear it with what I'm teaching, and then he'll take the test and pass it. And they think I'm passing him, but I'm not. But he's just that intelligent."
Right.
So the biggest thing about, I told them, I said, you guys are not going to retain him. You're going to do everything you can, and it's going to be at you guys' expense that he's going to get whatever he needs because I've done my part. As a parent, you have rights, and you need to speak up for that,
Right. Thank
guys.
you, Miss Ivy Lee. Thank you for coming in, Miss Harris. That was profound. If you guys have not connected with me, you can send me a daily heart me. You can follow me. I do follow back. Give me a second after we get off the live. We do have these sessions bi-weekly. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your teacher friends. Tell people in your family that are educators and tell people in the community. A lot of friends or family members you have will not know how to respond in certain situations or they go through certain situations. You will not, me and Miss Harris had some, in the historical, we've talked about some things with regards to exceptional children. They call them EC children, special needs children, and the sort. We do have those discussions on what is right and what's not. I'm big on law. I'm big on looking at, thank you. I'm big on really looking at those things and talking about, I am the type of educator and administrator, I'm going to talk about what they don't want to talk about. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I mean, I work for myself. So with that being said, I am going to tell the truth because I'm a parent first, I'm an educator second, and I'm an administrator last. And it's that way of thinking that has really resonated with me and made me the most successful or provided me the most success in what I'm doing. Um, so we're sharing out now. I'm gonna let Miss D go and Miss Ivy League. I want to hear your voice as well, and your experiences. We're talking about first thing homeschool communication, parental involvement. We do know parents work. I always tell my teachers that I train, first and foremost, we work for the students first and the parents second. Because you have to, if you want to capture that student, you have to tap into that parent. That parent may have needs and it's personal. Know how to be confidential within this homeschool communication, but they may have needs that you just don't know, have never been tapped into. Miss Harris, baby in 11th grade, I've had parents that children are about to graduate high school that said that the school has never called them. The first thing I say is your numbers updated. Because I am a
Right.
person where if I got my classroom or my expectation is for every teacher to call those phone numbers. If it's one not working, let's get that done now. We're at the beginning phase of school right now. Because some parents, like I said in my previous session, they change numbers like they change underwear.
That's correct.
Okay, Miss D.
Well, I just had an incident with my fifth grader, my last daughter. Um, I got a call. We was on vacations, ready to get on our plane. I got a call from the assistant principal, and he was basically stating that she had did this. He was like, she got in some trouble and I got to put her in ISS. So me thinking like, okay, like, but if this happened on a Thursday, why I'm just getting a call on a Friday?
Mm.
And I'm saying that to myself. So he was like, because a parent has come up here about her. And I was like, okay, but this parent came on a Thursday. So why I didn't get it for him until Friday? And I said, okay. I said, well, I'll handle it when I get home. So
Right.
in my mind, as I'm sitting in the airport, my first thing is she didn't do this by herself. If she did anything, it's more people involved in it. She's not the only one.
Right.
And so I came home. Um, then I ended up getting a call on Tuesday. So I had parent conference on Tuesday with the teachers.
Mm.
He called. I had came back home and laid down. And in my mind, I wanted to go to sleep. But it was like God was telling me, you're going to get a phone call today from the school. Lord behold, I got a phone call. And when I got the phone call, me and my husband was eating lunch. So, and it got me upset
Mm.
because one thing is, I know my children.
Mm.
I know when they're going to do something, and each one of my children are different. So if you tell me one of them did something, I can tell you, yes, I know, because I know my child.
Yeah.
So he called and he was like, well, she said that she said I was a pedophile. So I was like, what? And look, I was very, very heated. So I just said, listen, you can talk to my husband. I'm done with it. So I had a parent conference with her two teachers. So
Right.
I brought something that said, bring it up. I brought it up to them. They looking crazy. They was like, what? You got a call? I was like, yeah. And they was like, that is not how it went. They said, why did he say that she did it? And I said, huh? They was like, she stood over there. She came and told us what was said. And I was like, really? They was like, yeah. And we told her to go sit down because he was coming up. And it just made me feel like bad because we was actually going to discipline her.
Mm.
So when I got the story from them, it made me feel some type of way. It made me feel different. But it's just the way they called him and he came in the classroom. But it's just the way he handled the situation. He still blamed her for it. And like I told him, you're not going to blame her for something if two teachers was around. Well, them two
Mm.
teachers said that she said, I said, listen, I know the truth now. Like, I'm a parent first. I tell anybody I'm a parent first. And I know how to handle situations.
Right.
But I know in the past she had a problem in fourth grade because the teacher left.
Right.
I said, but at the end of the day, you cannot hold someone past over their heads and expect the child to grow.
Right.
And in my mind, I wanted to say so bad is that we all have a past in here. Nobody's perfect,
Right.
but she's not going to grow overnight. It's a process.
Right.
And now I got a good report. She's doing wonderful. But it
Right.
takes a parent to get involved because a lot of them will blame your child for something that they wasn't in the mix.
Right.
And and that's why I tell parents, you got to be involved. Teachers, you got to communicate with your teachers and see what's going on in that classroom. What can they help you with? And
Right.
I'm big on if I can help your child, I'm going to help your child because if they doing something, I'm the one that's going to back them up. If I know they're right, if I know that they didn't do it, I'm going to back them up. And I'm going to tell you, this child did not do it. But it takes that strong individual because everybody's not going to take up, a lot of teachers not going to take up for them.
They're not. They're too afraid to.
Lose
In
their
my
job.
experiences, I like to be proactive, not reactive.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do tell teachers, and I tell parents as well. I tell teachers, I'm going to have your back.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I want you to know what having your back means. I'm going to support you. So if something comes to me and you have done something wrong in some type of way, expect to have that be a teachable moment. And I'm going to coach you in the way that things should be done as per policy. And I'm going to give that policy to you. Second, I don't have meetings with, I don't allow teachers to have meetings with irate parents. And I like to have everybody there because what I'm going to share, if you're involved in it, I'm giving
Mm-hmm.
one discussion one time. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
have mother, child, daddy, grandma, cousin, everybody down the street in the neighborhood, the other administrators. We're gonna sit at a round table because this is a team. And this is what was alleged happened. I always use the word alleged because you don't know unless you were there and you saw it firsthand. And even then, you can't even come at it. Every administrator, let me say that and give that caveat, is not me. I don't believe a teacher over a child. I said it. I don't believe a teacher over a child, just like I don't believe a child over, a teacher. It's going to be me actually doing an investigation to see what was said, what took place. I want the facts. I want evidence. As the kids say, I want receipts. Because I'm not going to just take your word for it. I'm going to ask 3 or 4 other kids in the classroom that has no affiliation with that child. I'm going to ask all of that. And then we're going to come back and say, okay, this is what I found to be true. Here's the facts. This is my suggestion of what we're going to do moving forward. What of that can you or can you not commit to? Or what are your suggestions? And we're going to move past it. So a lot of times, that's why our kids they're not successful in school. Someone has already wrote them off. They listen to the person down the street or the other teacher that had them last year, and oh, that mama don't come to the school. That mama don't call the school. Oh, all she do is she run down the street. Oh, you will see her. Or the mama coming here smelling like weed. The mama seen the child smelling like weed. The baby book bag smell like weed. Now, you never know a situation if you don't know firsthand. I've even had to talk to teachers and say, listen, that child didn't come to school smelling like weed because she got out of a car. I saw that child walking to school this morning. We need to get with the counselor and see exactly what it is. Is the child engaged in smoking? Is it the child's home life? Has the child walked through a neighborhood or area or been somewhere? Do we even know the child stayed at home last night? It's so many things that we have to consider as educators and all that, but at the same time, we need the community, the parents, guardians, or whoever it is. Let's have open meetings of communication. Again, transparency builds trust. Trust builds relationships. If you come to me and you say, look, I'm having a hard time, I'm dealing with anxiety, I do smoke marijuana. You never know what you may get from any given situation, just having a little dialogue. Meet people where they are. Be open and receptive to it. Now, parents, please don't come in there with your bonnet on. Please don't come in there with your booty shorts on. Please don't. Lord, the tight era is here. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen parents coming in with tights on in the middle school, halter tops, where we have very influential little boys. They're going to say things, and they're going to be disrespectful, but I've had little girls that have to deal with the little boy saying something about their parents, which causes more conflict down the road. So that's part of the professionalism piece. Chime in, ladies. What do you think about that?
I honestly think that is something that all administrators enforce. I was just getting ready to say I'm gonna post it anyway. I was just getting
Say
ready
it. This is taboo talks right here. We don't have to be professional in this one. We're gonna say what it is. We're gonna say
when
what
I
they
tell
don't say.
you, I was working in the office one time.
Cigarette blunt behind the ear. Okay.
Cigarette behind one ear, blunt behind the next.
Oh
And
Lord.
he walked in. He walked in to check out his child, and we looking at him. They have no etiquette, so
Oh.
they have to be taught as well.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how many times children come to school and they book bags smell like weed. Well, this little girl told me that um her dad, well, it was her dad took her book bag to work that night,
See?
and he took the book bag to work, but what he was doing was selling dope,
Mm.
Mm.
and he put all the weed in her book bag.
And that's
So
why it's
she
not,
came to
see?
school smelling like a pound of weed in her book bag.
Mm.
And we knew, so we had to call them to come get the book bag because they had alarmed up the entire front of the school.
Wow.
When they got, yeah, I'm talking about real stuff. When he got there, he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I used her book bag last night," and we sitting there looking like, "Are you serious?" And he admitted it. Took the book bag home, and yeah, I wipe it
All
out.
you
You
gotta do is
know how it is.
communicate with them. These are grown people. They don't have to
Yeah,
be
Right.
afraid of what
and
they do. They
but
grown.
and we had to tell him, "Sir, do you not understand that is a reflection on your child? You
Mm-hmm.
got to think harder
Mm.
than this." I mean,
Right.
been in a situation where the kids come in, they are completely conducive to their environment. It's
Mm.
very dysfunctional,
Mm.
fighting, hitting, kicking, cussing, sex on every TV,
Mm.
iPads. They took the computers home from school, watching porn, everything.
Mm.
Parents using the computers, everything.
You see
So
it all. We do see it all. We don't speak on it
you
all.
see it
If you're
all.
new coming in, guys, heart me, join us. We are here every 2 weeks, same time, same back channel, talking about what everybody else don't want to talk about when it comes to education. We talk about it all. There's no holds barred. I
Absolutely.
just expect everybody, just have a little common courtesy when all of us are speaking. Listen to one person at a time. So on. Okay. My bad, Miss Harris. I see people coming
No,
through.
no, no, you're fine. And the last thing I wanted to share was I remember being in the cafeteria. It was we had where the parents would come and volunteer, and this lady wanted to come volunteer. She was given the task for going in the cafeteria, helping the children with cleaning the tables after they got up and eat. So when she first walked in, everybody was looking, like the teachers and stuff were looking, but I was behind her. I came in and I got me a cup of tea, and when I turned around, I looked at her. Well, she had a big old scarf on her head, and when you looked at her, she had the word BITCH on the front of her shirt. And you know
Woo.
how the middle of your shirt have a big hole in it and your cleavage be showing? Her breast was popped out of it with that word across her breast. Everything was tight, and I'm looking like, okay, I know she bedroom shoes on, everything. And
Mm.
I told the administrator, I said, why couldn't we just say, hey, sweetheart, that's inappropriate. These are children, and tell her she can't volunteer today, but next she can tomorrow, and next time you gotta wear something appropriate. If we don't set the expectation, the parents are not going to they're not going to do it. Some of them ain't. Some of them they just are not aware. They it is not they just don't care. They ain't thinking.
They're not.
Some of
No.
these parents are not thinking,
They're
and
not.
they feel like everybody should just accept it. Some of them have had their hands out for so long, and people just everybody around them just accept who they
Right.
are. They feel like everybody else is supposed to too. There's no standard and there's no expectation. I tell people all the time, school is a learning environment.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Yeah.
got to put that in your mind. It's not the park, it's not the theater, it's not the recreation center, it's not even church. And
Right.
I love the Lord. It
Yes.
is a learning environment. It's where you come to learn. It's where you come to communicate. It's where you come to put your best foot forward and to put your thinking cap on so you can learn how to be a productive adult.
I
That's
see it,
what
Miss
school
Ivy
is
Lee. I see your
about.
service is horrible. I'm sorry, Miss. I'm looking at that messages too while you're talking. My apologies, Miss Harris.
You fine, you fine,
But
you
yes, that
fine.
is. I agree with you. That is definitely what they. I have. I am the administrator that will check parents immediately. If you can't tell and you're visiting, I
Good,
am the
good,
one to
good.
put. Come here. I had one parent that came to cuss me out because we knew that her child does things, but I have been the one in the whole child's whole history. The child was in eighth grade. That I was the one that would say, "I'm going to give him a chance," and I always tell the child, "Let me see who you want me to know you to be." want to listen to everybody else. I don't want your parent to tell me. I don't want your last teachers to tell me, right? So what I found was, yes, the child show out. We had to lock the whole school down because of the child. But I was out there in the thick of it with the child. And the one thing I did tell the child, if you leave these premises, it's going to be smoke in the city. I'm not playing with you. I'm not your parent. I'm not going to run after you. You'll be gone. You get what I'm saying? So, but what happened was in that, mama came in, where, excuse my language, guys, I'm very professional, where that bitch at? Because I'm going to tell her something. So I exited the office. I was like, hello, Mrs. This is not how we do business. Can you come please meet me in my office? She came in, she popping tights, belly out. You know, her hair was done, so she didn't have a bonnet on that day. I don't know what kind of them slides, the slides the kids wear. And she slid on in the office. I said, you can close the door. And I had my ambient music on because in my environment, I practice mindfulness all day in my environment. I feel that my environment has been neat, organized, and I have to have a white noise because I can't have it just silent. So when she came in, I said, well, I would appreciate if we don't take our voice an octave above what my music is. If at that point, that means that you're agitated, I will reschedule this. But this is how I will communicate with you, and I expect the same in return. Thank you for respecting that in advance. I'll give you a few minutes because I know you're emotional right now about what I'm about to tell you, and I just want to make sure you have a level head when we have this discussion before we bring your child in. 5 minutes, she went on. She was like, you know what? She said, you answered the whole question with how you're handling me right now. She said, I heard you on the phone and you left a message. She said, but now that I'm talking to you, you're talking to me the same way you talked on the phone. I said, yeah, I'm direct. And you're not going to like what I'm saying, but you're going to receive what I'm saying because I'm business. I don't hold personal when it comes here. I'm here to help your child. Sometimes parents can love a child to death. And what I meant, I told her what I meant by that. You can love your child so much where you don't see what they're doing, and society will take them from you. So after that, me and that parent, she knew. I said, first of all, I have influential young men here that I'm trying to change their way and their views on life. I don't need you coming in here half dressed, showing anything other than, professionalism. And remember, your son is going to be fighting these boys when they go tell him how fine his mama looking in these tights. She didn't even think about it. When she left she asked me for one of my uniform shirts, and I gave her one that was big, and she covered herself to leave. She didn't leave how she came in. Sometimes it's that communication. You got to open your mouth. A lot of administrators scared to do that. I'm not scared of anything, honey. They step in and out their pants like I do. We grown. Either I'm going to help the child or I'm going to help the child. That's the only options I have in my roles. Anybody else want to share? Chime in. Chime in. Let's say that. Ali Khan, I got you in here. Say it. What were your experiences when it comes to homeschool communication? Parental involvement. What's your experience or your take? What gold nugget, platinum nugget, or diamond you can give the viewers? Because I do record these and we do post them. YouTube and on TikTok. Hello, are you there? You in earshot or you can't talk? Well, we'll wait on you. All right, Maria, Miss D. What else? I know you got something else. Y'all always have good stuff for me, honey. You always got the goods.
I'll let Miss D go ahead. I don't talk enough.
No, you can never talk enough. Oh, I'm not English. Well, take it in. You still can translate it later, Ali Khan. Translate it later. The other thing then, let me give you another topic, ladies. We did professionalism. Let's talk about mindfulness as stakeholders and everything. The importance of making sure you straight mentally before you even engage with or even have to go in and confront situations. Like you said, Miss Harris, you're gonna be upset about the things they do. You're gonna communicate it, but what's the importance of keeping a level head? Think about how that can impact your kids.
Absolutely. And that goes with when we was talking about before, what the new teachers. You never know what you have to deal. You never know what you're going to deal with, and then have to juggle with what you have to deal with, especially when it comes time to personal things. So I'll just tell everybody this: always be mindful. Like we say, be mindful. Always be sober minded and be vigilant. And we talked about that today, earlier when we were at church. Sober minded and vigilant don't mean not be drunk. Sober minded means to whatever you need to do at that moment, to know exactly what you need to do and how to execute it. Vigilant means to be focused and to be intentional about your actions. Yes, we all have situations, but it's very important that you have, if there's nobody at your job that you can trust to talk to everybody got to have somebody to vent to. Everybody got
Everybody.
to have somebody to trust. Don't think you're going to go on this job as a veteran teacher. You know, you've learned you can't talk to them, you know, you can't trust that one. But
Right.
I tell anybody, I talk to everybody there, all the teachers and everything. But I tell you what, can't none of them say that I have repeated anything that anybody else has said. You might tell me something, and the person you told me about, you might see me talking to them, but that don't mean that I'm telling them what you've said. You cannot think that I have made myself out to be. I'm not that person.
Right.
You can trust what you see is what you
Mhm.
get, and I think that people understand and know that.
You
But
hold
you got to
water,
be that
Grace.
kind
You
of
hold water,
person,
Miss Maria. You know the old folks
huh?
used to say you. I know how to hold water. And Ali,
Yes,
you speak
yes.
English, even though you're Pakistan. And one thing that I want to share with Miss D and Miss Harris, I had this discussion yesterday. I'm all over the place, guys. I'm a global educator. I'm not limited. I speak English. I've taken French. I know some ASL. However, I'm a global educator. And whatever we're doing here in every other country, being that you're in the United States and you're Pakistan or whatever, it applies to your children too. It does. It's not a one size fits all, but it's relevant to every child. Every. My husband and I was talking about it yesterday about I'm looking at a logo for a new initiative that I'm doing, and we were talking about the rainbow, and I'm not the LGBT type rainbow. I was talking about a melanated brown, every shade of brown, because everyone is melanated, even our Caucasian people. So when you're looking at it, it is putting all the spectrum because we're all on that. We're all one. The education, what we give, it's just we have to teach them differently. It don't mean we don't teach them. It don't mean that it doesn't mean that people that are in Pakistan don't have parental involvement they got to deal with. You have to dealing with your children's teachers too. So it's just here, if I don't have an answer for you, regardless, I will get the answer for you because I'm a researcher by nature and I'm an expert by right. So just keep that in mind when you're sharing out and letting people come in. All right, ladies, this has been a good session. Do we have any closings? Of course, you ladies have to close for me. I'm done talking. We got us 2,000 likes today. Okay, don't forget, give me a daily heart me. I have a goal. I'm getting new into this goal thing. I figured since we're going to be meeting every bi-weekly, 5 hearts. I got one. I got a goal of 4. I mean roses, not hearts. But if you can tap into that, I'm gonna let my ladies close out because these ladies right here, I'm learning from these ladies. They're teaching me a lot, and they're teaching me different things that I need to be looking at. And what I found in our meeting is we are so much more similar because all the things they're sharing, they share it for me. I don't have to share it with you because they're bringing it to you because that's just how universal it is what I was saying also, Con. All right, ladies.
Well, since I've been on here, I have learned a lot, and I can take that in the classroom and develop it
Mm.
into the classroom, because at the end of the day, we have to understand some things that we might not
Uh-uh.
know. You can always get it from someone else, because God will always send the person that don't like you back to
Mhm.
you to give you information. So
Yeah.
that information, you got to take it and you got to use it, because when
Mm.
we walk into the classrooms, we're not perfect. We're human. We used to be their ages. So
Right.
but we have to understand that it's okay for a child to make a mistake. But we as an adult, we correct them and ask them what they're gonna do better on tomorrow.
Right.
Because
Right.
today is gone, but tomorrow is what we're gonna work on.
I love it. You always so profound. Okay, Miss Harris, close us out.
Like the benediction. I do know this as a veteran teacher. We respond to things as we experience things. And I think that's a good thing sometimes, and it's a not so good thing because each individual child is different. So you can't, but you can always have a child in your classroom that reminds you, especially physically, mentally, and psychologically, of another child. And then you can go back and say, hey, I did this for that child. Let me see if it's going to work for this child.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't. But to just remember that if you got 27 children, you got 27 personalities that you got to get used to. And then two may be sort of alike in one way. And please just enjoy the ride. I personally am trying to get to the next stage in education, out of the classroom, out of the educational sector, but somewhere where I can make some changes. I want to start dealing with the parents and talking to the parents and loving on them like a parent liaison type thing
Be ready.
and talking. Yes.
Be ready. You know we already. Be ready.
Oh,
This
absolutely.
is just the
I'm so
beginning.
geared and
We got
ready.
so much.
Yes.
Yes. Be ready.
Yes, and that's my thing. I think I've graduated from the children. Getting older, you want different things. Your mind starts to change, and
Mm-hmm.
you start to elevate to to other things. So I think I'm going to I just want to let teachers know, just be mindful of what you do. Don't take anything personal that these children do, even though it feels personal, and just understand that they are children and that, like she said, tomorrow is another day.
Right. And thank you. That's gonna end our live. Hello, Tito. Hi. That's the best brother in love in the building. We are just finishing up, ladies. Again, thank you for your time. Our panel will continue to grow. Thanks to all our guests that come in. Bringing those taboo talks. Remember, with us, nothing's taboo. We talk about it all. We talk about what everybody else don't want to talk about. And you have a great, fantabulous, marvelous week. And if you don't be good at it. You guys have a good one. Thank you, ladies. I will see you all soon.